Now, you having fun so far? Are you feeling informed? Getting motivation a little bit? Because our next speaker is a really, really interesting guy. He comes from a very small village, under 2,000 people in Hungary. And today, hundreds of thousands of people follow him on TikTok, follow his life and his experiences. He's always had the dream to travel the world, and Forever is giving him the means and the opportunity to do so. And since he became a manager, he's already visited 16 countries. And after this Eagle Managers Retreat, he's going on a 5-week backpack in Indonesia. He's going to work on his laptop whenever he has internet, of course, and enjoying the freedom and the flexibility that the Forever opportunity offers him and all of us here in this room. Now, to tell us all about taking responsibility, please welcome Mate Bujdos. Come on, Mate.